it finally happened. After several years of waiting, Nintendo finally revealed the Switch 2. Though it was quick, it revealed many things, some of which I bet you didn't even see. Not only were new features shown and others teased, but we even got to see Mario Kart 9! It was exciting! It also confirmed most of the hardware leaks and everything that Next Handheld said about it. Maybe we shouldn't have been watching all of those leaks and it could have been even more exciting. Anyways, it was still great, and I'm glad we got to see it. Without a single word spoken, there were many clues given that we probably missed when we first saw it. Yeah, that's just a normal Switch. But it changes. Nintendo sheds what we know from it and reveals what makes the Switch 2 different. To me, it looks like the Switch 2 will actually be metal instead of the plastic that the OG Switch was made out of. This is because of the grainy, reflective surface we see here that looks metal. And I bet the curved and beveled edges are like this to not only look great, but to prevent someone from hurting themselves on the metal device. Of course, it highlights the USB port at the bottom here. The power and volume buttons are wider. Then past the ventilation outlets, we see the top USB and headphone ports. What's interesting about the top and bottom USB ports is that they are USB 2.1 ports. Nico Felipe confirmed this by saying, "Yeah, it will be 100% 2.1 version as slated by the shipment data." And shout out to our community user, Tom Moore T2S, who expounded on this in a comment by saying, "It doesn't seem to look like any average USB port I'm aware of, but what could be interesting is being able to plug in USB storage devices, whether it be something to store external memory or to input media files into the Switch 2, like JPEGs, MP3, MP4, etc. Since it's a USB 2.1 port, it can do just that. It can transfer data fast enough to not only charge the system, but it can move large files like videos, images, or other data needed for almost any accessory we add here. Now, this larger console does need a beefier kickstand like this. What I love about this kickstand is it looks like it can hold the console at many different angles, which would be so helpful to accommodate for almost any surface you place it on and your position to it. One thing that most people may have missed from this trailer is that the console has these little rubber stoppers here that will help keep it from sliding around when the kickstand is used in some of these crazy angles. Now, I love how the Joy-Cons are bigger and easier to hold. The top buttons are also easier to use because they're way longer than we had with the Switch 1. The analog stick has bigger ridges than we previously had, and notice how the new C button is blank here. I bet Nintendo photoshopped it out because they don't want to talk about its functionality in this video, but there will indeed be a C inscribed here. Next Handheld, who showed off the console and got everything right about it, also confirmed the legitimacy of the C button, and I'm inclined to believe him on this one too. When Nintendo Live said, Switch 2's rumored C button isn't actually a C button, Next Handheld simply said, yeah, it is. Now, I love the splash of color Nintendo put on these Joy-Cons. Though this color looks more of a reddish peach to me, it can look orange under a yellow light just like all the leaks said it would be. And it looks great too. So let's talk about what makes this Joy-Con so amazing. The player indicator is shown here. There are much larger SL and SR buttons than the old scrawny Joy-Con had. It has the sync button, the connector port, the glide pads for a smoother mouse movement. And we see a tiny glimpse of an optical mouse sensor here, just like all the leaks said. The blue Joy-Con looks great too, and we finally get a better look at the mouse optical sensor here. We can see how these buttons will work great, and after a little wiggle action, we see the smooth movement of the stick. The stick will be better than we've seen on the OG Switch, because the newer Hall Sense technology this uses will eradicate the dreaded stick drift that the old Joy-Con was plagued with. Now, let's pay close attention here. Notice how after these Joy-Cons fit into the optional covers and straps they have, they look just like mice moving around equipped with tails and ears. This is Nintendo's way of showing how you can use your Joy-Cons like a mouse for a smoother movement on some games. I also love how the console has the same accent color here as the Joy-Con that fits into it. Even though we'll have other Joy-Con main color options instead of this dark gray, I bet Nintendo will keep using this blue and reddish accent on each of their first-party Joy-Cons. One problem I see with this picture that some people have noted online is that this connector from the console looks flimsy and might break, but I'm sure Nintendo accounted for that too. If you notice how it's flush with the edging of the console, a Joy-Con wouldn't be able to move the connector out of place since it can only fit in the slot when it's positioned to do so. And I bet the connector is also reinforced on the inside to keep it sturdy. The only thing I could see as a problem with it is if someone gets a screwdriver and purposefully digs into it. But who would do that? Next Handheld also said, magnetically attaching the Joy-Cons to the console makes a mechanical click sound. I don't know if this is the real sound we'll hear or if this is just Nintendo pointing it out, but the video does play this click sound with the Joy-Cons attached. It sounds and looks great. And to add to Next Handheld's credibility, this logo even matches the same logo that he leaked before. Now, you guys are rock stars. You've helped me surpass my last subscriber goal of 500 on the very first day of the last video I put out. I so appreciate all of you who have subscribed, and I appreciate all of you who are watching these videos. My new goal that will help in making more videos is 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate everyone's support who can help out. So, if you're liking this information and want to keep getting more amazing Nintendo news, make sure you subscribe, and you won't miss out on anything. Now, after this quick first look of the Switch 2, we get blown away by being able to see the first Switch 2 exclusive game in Mario Kart 9! This is the newest sequel we've had in the Mario Kart franchise in a decade. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game we enjoy on the Switch is just a remake of the Wii U Mario Kart 8 game that came out in 2014. And this Mario Kart 9 teaser highlights many surprises. Right in the beginning scene, we see how there are 24 racetrack spaces, doubling the amount of players we've been able to have on Mario Kart 8. The characters are different models than we've seen. Though Mario doesn't match the same as his character in the Mario movie, he does match a similar Illumination cartoon art style, and Donkey Kong is definitely different. Also, the movement of these characters are more fluid than we've seen in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Fellow creator Nintendo Land noticed that the new Mario Kart features this roster of characters. And no doubt we'll see more characters than these when we actually get to play the real game. We also get to see a brand new stage that isn't featured in any other Mario Kart, with this desert highway that reminds me of old Route 66. The track is very wide to accommodate 24 simultaneous players, and there's live traffic with cars and trucks that you would also need to avoid. It looks a lot of fun. With Nintendo showing this footage now, I'm betting Mario Kart 9 will be the launch title of the Switch 2. Nintendo also expounds on backwards compatibility by saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 plays both physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I'm betting most games are safe, and Nintendo's just covering their bases with this statement. It's probably just Labo and any other Switch games that require the Joy-Cons to be a certain size for use in the accessories they would fit into to play these games the way they were intended. But I guess we'll find out later when Nintendo updates their website about it. If you wanted to see more games than just Mario Kart 9, we'll get to see more soon enough, because it looks like Nintendo will have a Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd. Hopefully that's not in the morning of Nintendo HQ's time zone in Japan, or it would actually be on April Fool's Day for us in the US. I think we're safe though. And according to Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, if you're wondering why Nintendo would randomly drop a Switch 2 teaser 2.5 months ahead of a proper reveal, would be to allow third-party companies to start officially announcing their games for the system. Now, Switch 1 games won't be forgotten, because according to PH Brazil, we'll have a direct for Switch 1 games right around the corner in February. And at the end of the Switch 2 trailer, we learned that Nintendo is holding a series of hands-on events held around the world, where people can hold a Switch 2 and play games on it. Here in the US, it will be held in New York, Los Angeles, and Dallas. It says tickets will be made available through a free-to-enter, randomly selected drawing. Register during the registration period for a chance to attend. And registration is open now through January 26th at 11:59 p.m. local time for each event location. Getting to play on the Switch 2 before it even comes out would be amazing. I'd like to hear from you. What do you think about the Switch 2, Mario Kart 9, and these upcoming events? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching and subscribing. If you'd like to see more amazing Switch 2 news, you'll want to watch this video here.